Hey y'all, it's your girl Breezy, and you know I like to run my mouth. So I want to do something different outside of hot topics. I also want to look at people's stories and advice questions. So I hopped over to Reddit, see what I could find, and I thought this was an interesting one. So the subject is, how do I deal with a creep in my class without making him mad? I, 19, female, am in a small class with a guy, 34 male, and he makes me really uncomfortable. I sat by him on the first day because he was all alone, and now I feel like it's too late to sit somewhere else. The class has unofficial seats, and if I moved it, it would definitely be noticed by everyone, and I really don't want that attention. He talks to me during independent work time, and it always somehow gets to him mentioning sex, and that makes me so uncomfortable. I have a boyfriend, and I've mentioned that to him before, but he still makes jokes about us going on dates. The final straw was when he told me about the way I would scream if wolves were ripping me apart and how the pain and fight or flight would be comparable to me being SA'd. OMG. Okay. Every time he says weird stuff, I just smile and try to laugh it off and keep things positive. For example, when he said the wolf thing, I said, at least I would get to feed a cute wolf if they ate me, I guess. And he just kept saying, I would save you and I wouldn't let them do that to you. I haven't said anything to the university or the professor because honestly, I'm scared of him. I know he has a knife collection and several guns. He's also quite a bit larger than me, and I don't want to get hurt or end up in a situation that affects my education. I would love to get some advice about how I can feel comfortable in class without it being a big deal or having it get back to him and making him mad. Wow. So that's a lot because I always, so I like to, give, I guess, unsolicited advice in this situation. But when people ask me what to do, I always like to think about the situation like, who's the person impacted? Who is the person, committing the act against the person or the offense against the person? This is a lot. So me personally, and see, I can just say from me personally, I would honestly say to him, like, when you start talking that crazy stuff to me, don't say stuff like that to me. I don't talk about that kind of stuff. I don't like that kind of stuff. Don't say that to me ever again. And in fact, since you're talking to me like that, don't speak to me at all. So, hello, goodbye, that's okay, but don't talk to me at all ever again in life because, nigga, what? But I get that this girl is saying he's a bit larger than me. I really wouldn't care how small the class is. Where is your seat? Is the seat near the professor? I'd be like, I need to be closer to the professor. Or I need to be closer to the door because I got bladder problems. I make a, like, okay, so in protection mode, make up a lie about your medical and get your seat moved away from where he is, maybe closer to the door, so that you could say, listen, I got IBS and I be having to run out. And so run out of the classroom a couple times just as a little diversion and then come back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The only other thing I could say is I would go to the professor and express my concerns to the professor. And I don't need you to say, bring up to, I wouldn't let the guy know that I went to the professor. I do it when he's left from the class or email the professor separately and let the professor know, like, hey, this is the weird stuff that's going on in this class. I feel uncomfortable. Like, what are my next steps? Because I don't want any issues. And I let the professor maybe say, hey, we're going to switch up seats. Maybe that would be the thing. We're going to switch up seats so that y'all don't have to sit by each other, so that there is then a separation. Maybe that's wild. This is the first thing I read on this advice group, and this is the one. I hadn't read the whole thing when I chose it, but that is really creepy. That is really wild. Whoever that is, I hate that for them, that they having to go through that. In the sake of not causing any alarm by your actions to the man, by like saying anything to him or moving the seat just randomly, I would go to the professor. I'd find a way to talk to the professor in person without that person knowing that I was talking to the professor in person, and express to the professor my concerns and that I need my seat moved, but I need it to look like you did the change and made it. I will also, if you can't personally talk to the professor, I'd email them and or go to some staff at the school, at the university, to address that, so that something that can be done to him about it or related to him about it, but so that he doesn't know that it's you, like a moving of the seats or whatever, allowing you to do online and not having to come back to that class anymore, something. That is wild. That is weird. Sorry that whoever that is has to deal with that. I know that that's a common thing for women. Sometimes being, or I guess people in general, but a lot of women find themselves dealing with men making uncomfortable, suggestive situations, occur, saying suggestive things, looking at the woman suggestively, or like constantly staring at her, or things of that nature that just make you feel comfortable in an environment where you should be able to, you're coming here to learn. You should be able to come to this class and not feel uncomfortable. Who the hell talking about some damn wolves would tell you what? Sir, you need a therapist. Anywho, you all tell me what advice you would give to this young lady about dealing with a creep in class, trying to avoid him being upset or knowing that there is an issue that will make him look like a bad guy. And let me know if you've experienced anything like this. Again, what's your advice for this person? Drop it down in the comments. Thanks for coming by. Make sure that you like, comment, share. Make sure that you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you get notified the next time I come to run my mouth.